Can you believe this is week 6 of the commitment program? Oh my God. So I just want to take us from the beginning of our journey to present day. So in week 1, we talked about being brave. And that's when Joel was with us, and what a perfect little launch for him to go into the hospital. And so to step into whatever it was we were feeling we needed to step into, that's being brave. Then week 2 was about living our life and choosing to rise from whatever ashes, whatever is going on in our life, and truly express ourselves in a great way. And to live, to enjoy each moment, to enjoy the beauty around us. And then week 3 was about shining our light, choosing to shine our light in a great way so that others could see the beauty of who we were. Then we gave you a little stress because we jumped at the end of to the end of the rainbow to look at power of purpose. And so eloquently put in the song, Vision, to realize we each have a reason we're here. We have a piece of the puzzle to express in this planet. And each one of these pieces adds to the whole. And so we looked at how you were expressing your purpose. Then last week we talked about character and how important it was to live things like the golden rule, to treat each other the way we wanted to be treated. And to just watch what happens when we make decisions based on character, when we can really resonate with what's important to us so it doesn't eat us up inside. And so hopefully you had a wonderful character-filled week. And now we're talking about security. And so with that, why don't we put the affirmation for today up? And so today we're talking about security being an inside job. And here's our affirmation. I'm secure in my connection with God. Let's say that together. I'm secure in my connection with God. What is it that brings you security? I mean, is it the stuff you've collected in your life? Is it your relationships, people you can depend on, that you can go to? Is it your children coming to you so that you know what's happening in their world? What is it that brings you security? We're going to look at it in 4 different ways this morning. And I don't know if you noticed, but there is an RV parked in the parking lot. I don't know how it got there. That's our home. That's Lynn and my home. And so I want to share a little bit about the decision to do that, because we don't own another home. That's it. And so you say, well, where do you live? There. Or maybe there. Or maybe there. If anyone has a parking in their driveway, we'd be happy to come this week if you'd like. Here's how that evolved. So if you've been following the story, and some of you are new today, so I'll just bring you up to speed on the story. So this lesson and the whole 6 weeks have been based on the book Ray of Hope for Peace, which is a book that I authored, but it's a book about Lynn and my journey. And it was a journey, a unique journey, where I bicycled across the country, and Lynn did something. What did you do?
I did the hard part. I drove the truck.
She drove the truck. And so you may not have seen the truck. It's hidden behind it. It is a big truck. It's a big truck. And so in that bicycling across the journey, sharing a message of hope and healing after 9/11, there became a routine. The routine was to get up pretty much every day and just ride 70 or 80 miles. One day I had to ride 125 miles. One day I could only do 35 miles. But it was every day getting up and riding, and did that for 70 days straight. And then arrived at ground zero for the year-end remembrance ceremonies in 2002. And it was interesting because we had sadness when I stroked the last stroke of the pedals, and then we loaded the bikes on the back of our Toyota 4Runner at that time. And we kind of looked at each other, and it felt like should keep going. Had already ridden 3,369 miles, and yet it felt like we should keep going. And people always ask me, how long did it take you to recover? And I say, there was no recovery. It became a normal routine, like getting up and brushing my teeth. Okay, I'm getting up and getting on the bicycle. And that was interesting because we started asking ourselves, what's next? And other people would ask us, what's next? And I knew it wasn't to be on the bicycle. That wasn't it. But there was some incredible things we learned on that trip. We learned, first of all, that all the baggage that we packed into the back of the Toyota 4Runner and in a little crate on the top of it, we didn't even use it all. And we started looking at our life and realized we don't need a lot to be happy. And as a matter of fact, all the stuff we've been collecting from both our lives that we've been hauling around with us, we didn't need a lot of that. And so we started talking with some friends of ours. Their names are Kay and Tom. I think I shared about them in one other lesson. We started talking more because they'd already been full-timing for over 10 years. Full-time RVing, that's what it's called, full-timing. We have our own lingo. And so we started asking them more about how they did it, how they prepared for it, and that dream that was their dream started to become our dream. And so we started downsizing, and we listed our house to sell. Fortunately, a friend of mine said, if you want to do this dream, you better do it before the housing market goes like that. And we listed our house as quick as we could, and we sold it. And then we moved into a rental house. See, my boys were still in high school at that time, and they thought we were freaking out. And we did our best to explain it to them. And my oldest never quite got the concept, but my youngest said, well, I'll humor you. And so we waited until my oldest was out of high school before we even started making the move to start designing an RV. See, we're not retired. We operate businesses. And so we needed to be able to do that, however, whatever our next phase in life was going to be. And so what we did was we rented a house that was smaller, so we were forced to start getting rid of our stuff. And then we eventually had garage sales to get rid of pretty much everything. All the furniture, all the little knickknacks, all the gardening stuff. I don't even have to worry about it anymore. And we have $1 million views wherever we want to go. This one's not quite a $1 million view, but... And so we started releasing all the stuff. And we asked our kids, take anything you want. They took my old LP records, the vinyl. You remember vinyl? Yeah. They took that. They took my turntable, yeah. It was so fun in garage sales just releasing these things to people that wanted them, to people that needed them, to friends and family that wanted any of that. We just gave it away gratefully. We do have an 8x8 storage unit that we have our tax files, so you got to have tax files. We have photographs. We have books that I like to refer to, and we'll cycle them into our RV from time to time. And so what we did was, next slide, we lightened the load. We lightened the load. And we even have a kitty. See, that's Ozzy. That's our traveling kitty over there. This was actually the first place we parked when we left the factory in Kansas. So Kansas was hell on a bike, but they're great with RVs. So we made that decision. And then I got thinking about a couple things. First of all, what Jesus said in the Bible. He said, don't store up treasures here on earth. Store your treasures in heaven. Wherever your treasure is, there your heart and thoughts will also be. And so in essence, home now for us is where the heart is. RVers say home is where you park it. When I bicycled across the country, we came across a person, someone shared a book with us about Peace Pilgrim. How many of you are familiar with Peace Pilgrim? Some, but not all. Peace Pilgrim, in the time of the Cold War in the 50s, made a decision and spent 15 years simplifying her life, lightening her load, to the point where, this would be way too much for her. What she did is she designed a tunic that was just kind of a smock that had some pockets in it, and all she carried in her pockets was a comb and some pamphlets. And her pamphlets were, how do we create peace in the world? And she walked over 25,000 miles. Whenever someone offered her food, she ate. Whenever they offered her a place to lay her head to rest, she rested. She lived her life that way. And 3 things that she was sharing with people that would create peace. The first one was, keep in mind the Cold War was going on, was disarmament, disarming nuclear weapons. Second one was, let's all agree to a language throughout the whole world that all countries would speak so that we could come to an understanding of each other. And then the third thing she said is, okay, so we have a War Department, so keep the War Department, but let's create a Peace Department that we also fund. And that's what she walked for. And so we haven't gone that far, but we call this our Ray of Hope vehicle. And so we share a message of hope as we roll. So I don't know what you've collected over the years. What has been a burden for you to carry around from home to home? But I encourage you this week, release some of it to some other people that need it. Next slide. Joel loves this term, be a skillful thinker. And he's practicing it now in the hospital. And so he hasn't wanted a lot of visitors. I know some of you have asked, can I visit? Where is he at? He doesn't want a lot of visitors. He asked me not to come because he wants to focus on his healing. He wants to be present to what's going on and stay in his place of joy in that without distractions at this point in time. And so for Tony and the board to choose to step up in this great way, to give him the space and to give Robin the space to be with him, to heal, that's incredible. See, he has such incredible grounding to his spirit and what brings him peace that he doesn't need to rely on others for that. He loves people. He loves to make them laugh. He loves to shine a light for them. But he doesn't need people. That's different. And so to be a skillful thinker, it means thinking thoughts of hope and of love and to move away from thoughts of fear. If they rise up, replace them with something else. I shared a little bit about my boy Dominic, who is my oldest. And I think I shared a little bit that he went to the Czech Republic to study. And he did that last semester. Well, I didn't share the rest of the story of that. And so he went to the Czech Republic, and he had a grand vision of what he was going to do there. I think studying was a part of it, but I don't know how much. And so he said, I'm going to see as many places as I can during the semester. And so every weekend he seemed to be going somewhere. And then he said, afterwards, I want to stay a couple months, and I want to tour Europe. I said, well, you're going to go with friends? He said, I don't know. I said, you would go alone? Yeah, I'd go alone. Okay. And so just before he left on his journey, because he didn't have a phone that would work over there, and so he didn't even have places he could find to text us from time to time, he just said he's going on the road. And so he went to Italy, he went to England, he went to London, and then he said he's going to end up in Spain, and he's going to fly out of Spain. And he said before he does that, he's going to do the running of the bulls. Running of the bulls. So I don't know if my breath was full and light when he mentioned that. Because what you have to understand about Dominic is he always pushed the envelope. That's just who he is in this world. And so, sure enough, he went to Spain. And sure enough, he did the running of the bulls. And he told us about it afterwards. He said, yeah, it was amazing. And he said, well, tell me about it. He said, well, they have the bulls. They come down they let them out of this door, and they come down this alleyway, and then, you run. But he said what he did was apparently there was a half a dozen other people. There's apparently a process, a challenge to the bull that's done, where about 6 people kneel on all fours. So the bull's over there, supposed to come out of the door, come here, and jump over them. Yeah. And Dominic is the one in front. Well, this bull didn't get the memo. Because what this bull chose to do is it started running down this little alleyway and then stopped right about there. Sorry, honey, I'm out of the film, aren't I? Stopped right about there, snorted, started doing this, and then went to charge. And then these guys start scattering. And Dominic shares with pride his little gash he got from the horn of the bull. So let me share all I could do. So when Dominic shared his plans, all I could do was, the next slide, stay prayed up. That's all I could do. And so, you know the prayer for protection, right? So why don't we go ahead and say it together, and we'll say it with the light of God surrounds you, and let's aim it at Joel right now, but let's go ahead and do it that way. So the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is. That's all I could do. And then we have another prayer that we use every time we get into our RV, anytime we get into the truck, anytime I got onto the bicycle. I have a travel prayer. And it's the Spirit of the Lord is with me, making safe, successful, and easy my way. And I aim that at Dominic. And we stationed angels with them. That's all we could do. Because what I've been sharing with him whenever he's come to me with his problems is, you are intelligent and resourceful. I know you can handle them. That's the skillful thinking part. And it's amazing. I was able to release a lot of anxiety just in staying prayed up and aiming those prayers at him. Bring that slide up again if you could. This setting is actually September 11th, 2002, and this was a prayer station that was set up at Ground Zero, right where the year-end remembrance ceremonies were being held. And down here, this is a banner that someone placed at the makeshift memorial that was around St. Paul's Chapel, which was adjacent to Ground Zero. And I just love that. Faith, love, and life. How simple does that make it? When we have faith, our connection in God, which is the source of our security, and when we express love in whatever it is that we are doing, it's there that we have a rich life. And I thought, that is great. So this thing called security, it's an inside job for each of us. And I want to leave with this piece right here, the next slide. How many of you know Barbara Marx Hubbard? Have heard her, have read anything by her? Not many people know about her. Yet over the past what she has been focused on is helping to transform the planet to its next level of evolution. And she wrote a book called Conscious Evolution, which says each of us has a piece of the puzzle that we can help to consciously put into the world to raise it to its next level of transformation. And this year, 2012, with all its mixed energies out there, some think it's going to be the end of the world, apocalypse, that type of thing. Others think, maybe this is our opportunity in the midst of this chaos to really birth something new that we can all live into and create a better world. That's what she's doing. She just released a book this month on as an ebook called Birth 2012 and Beyond. And she's planned a birthday party. So some think the world will end on September 21st of 2012. Well, she said, well, that's great. Let's have a birthday party on December 22nd, 2012, and let's celebrate the birth of a new planet. Yeah. And so that's kind of how Joel and I created this commitment program, and that's why the theme is to be a ray of hope. We each have a piece of the puzzle to join in this. And now this is an incredible time in this ministry. So Joel is going to need to heal. In the space of that, what can you all get together to help to create that is the birth of this ministry to its next level? Joel's trying to figure out his part in it. What is my next level? He's 82 years old. And he's got a next level, another gear. How cool is that? And so this ends the 6-week commitment program, but I'm hoping it doesn't end your commitment to be a ray of hope. And so let's go ahead and repeat the affirmation again. Bring that up. I'm secure in my connection with God. Let's say that together. I'm secure in my connection with God. And that's the truth. And now it's time to party, you know. It's time to party. And so in the garden, after the service, we're actually going to have soup that's been lovingly prepared by the children. And then we're also going to have salad that some people also lovingly brought. The study groups, I think, partnered to have that happen. And so we get to party in the garden. There's also going to be a talent show that people have been practicing to entertain you. And you get to learn a little bit about the different study groups and service projects that they've done. And Bobby's right here, and she's got a garden that they're going to be harvesting food and bringing that in and giving it and whatever. And so this is also a way for you to help contribute to the ministry, because it's going to be a fundraiser that will support both the youth and the church. And what do you have to say, my little loved one?
Well, actually, we are going to be, or at least I am going to be giving tours of our RV, if anyone is interested. And you can meet Ozzy, our cat, if you would like to. And so that will be during all the celebration. You can just come over whenever you want to. And there's a little basket out there. Would really appreciate a love offering for the church. Okay. And also, just wanted to say thank you all so much for participating just wholeheartedly the way you have these last 6 weeks for the Ray of Hope commitment program. It has been such a wonderful experience for us. We actually went to almost all of them. Actually, we'll finish going to all of the in-home study groups next week. And wow, is that amazing. Whenever you are part of a smaller group, not just the Sunday service, but you join in with a smaller group, it is amazing the connection that you feel, and it really feels more like a family. So I would encourage you to really, get involved, do some classes, do some small group interaction. It is amazing, and that's what is also going to help our families stay together as a community and grow together during this whole time. So I hope that you all have had as much fun as Ray and I have had during this program, and I just see each one of you as rays of hope in this world, and thank you so much.